This is actually a serious problem which threatens the conclusion of this playthrough. If we count up all produced pollution, that currently equates to 8500 per minute. When we look at all pollution absorbed, we can only really count the sustainable sources of pollution absorption. The biter and spitter nests are ultimately planned for eviction, and the process of damaging trees, which currently accounts for over half of our pollution clearing, cannot be depended on forever. And eventually all that unsustainable pollution absorption will fully migrate to tiles. This is a problem, because the amount of pollution absorbed by tiles simply equates directly to the physical size of the pollution cloud on the map, which in our case would mean the pollution cloud would grow to at least 7 times its current size after all is said and done and the biters are fully gone. This of course would mean the pollution cloud would spread off the map massively on all sides, generating new terrain and new biters in the process, which again would mean back to square one. So there is only one way to solve this problem. I was afraid it would have to come to this. We will have to design a base like no man has seen before. A base not optimized for maximum speed and productivity bonus, but a base designed purely around purity of air. In fact, I did a quick test in the map editor where I removed all the biters but kept all the forest, and within 2 or 3 hours the pollution already threatens to spread off the edge of the visible map. That means we cannot even attempt to eliminate all biters from this planet yet, as we are currently dependent on them to absorb any pollution that reaches them, before it has a chance to spread off the map and generate new terrain. So, after previously plodding down the path of productivity and pollution, we need to make a drastic change to save the climate on this planet. We will have to go full Greta Greenpeace before we can actually declare true peace. Not only with our glowy green power, but we will have to forego the usual strategies of optimized speed and productivity builds in order to drastically reduce our pollution output. Every single machine in our factory will have to be examined and optimized to minimize pollution output, while somehow still sustaining a respectable rate of production. Only after we reach the true green wisdom and all our pollution is absorbed in an eternally sustainable way by the planet, only then we can show our true colors to the rest of the natives. And trust me, our true colors are anything but green. Alright, so before we can get rid of all the red blobs on the outer edges of the map, we first gotta do something about that giant red blob inside of our walls, and preferably a little fast before we completely destroy all the forests with our thick clouds of pollution. So naturally we're going to start production of productivity module 3 and speed module 3. What? That's literally the most polluting combo you can make, dude. Oh well, whatever I guess. You do you. Module 3s are hella expensive though, so in order to not interfere with our 100 signs per minute research projects, we'll keep the Module 3 production speed slow for now. Let's finally get rid of the last remnants of yesterday's technology and upgrade the last blue assemblers to the shiny new and less polluting green ones. Well, so much for keeping Module 3 production slow. The slow module production just ain't cutting it, so after the 66th rocket launch and with mining productivity 8 just about to complete, we decide to switch off research altogether for now, so we can divert most resources towards making modules. This may sound odd, but we're gonna need a lot of speed 3 and productivity 3 modules in order to make our base produce as little pollution as we can. But how? Well, Behold our new design concept for the furnace area. On the right side we have the standard endgame design of maximum productivity bonus furnaces accompanied by 2 rows of maximum speed beacons. With this super powerful combination you can fill a blue belt with only 13 furnaces and a red belt with only 9. Amazing! That amazing power comes with an even more amazing pollution output. Almost 10 pollution per minute per furnace, meaning the production of 1 red belt of plates comes with an emission of a whopping 84 pollution per minute from the furnaces alone. So then, if our goal is to minimize pollution, then why do we still need those stinking productivity and speed modules? Well, because we can offset them with efficiency modules in the beacons. By sacrificing one of the productivity modules in the furnace, we can compensate the productivity module speed penalty with a speed module inside of the furnace, instead of putting the speed modules in the beacons. And that frees up the beacons for the simple and cheap efficiency module Mark 1. Mark 1? Why Mark 1? Well, just like you can break a twig but not a bundle, these 16 Mark 1 efficiency modules together are still powerful enough to not only fully nullify the bad environmental effects of the Mark 3 speed and productivity module inside of the furnace, but even bring it down further to reach the hard-coded minimum power consumption and accompanying minimum pollution emission of minus 80%. That means each of these furnaces outputs only 0.22 pollution per minute. Each furnace on the left is a lot slower than its counterpart on the right though, so we need not 9 but 33 furnaces to fully fill up a red belt. However, those 33 furnaces together produce not 84 pollution per minute, but only 7. Yeah, that's right, 7. That is 1/12 the pollution output to produce the same red belt of iron. That means, once we replace our entire main base's furnace setup, which is outputting 9 red belts of plates, it will still pollute less than a single red belt of a usual endgame setup, all by using a few stacks of the super cheap Mark 1 efficiency modules. But yeah, we are still gonna need plenty of expensive modules too. And the keen eye may have also spotted we are making some Mark 2 efficiency modules. Why do we need those then? Well, unlike furnaces which fit only 2 modules each, our assemblers have 4 module slots, meaning that there's a lot more negative effects to compensate for, especially with the powerful Mark III modules. Just look at these blue chip assemblers, they went from less than 10 to over 17 pollution per minute. But that comes with a sweet price of a whopping 40% productivity bonus. And just look at how fast that purple bonus bar is filling up now. But man, making Mark III modules is a real strain on your chips in all of the 3 colors. So instead of letting those expensive modules sit idle in a chest, why not store them in these red chip assemblers until we are finished working on our new base design concepts? But what about the extra pollution then? As long as our friends the biters are still inhaling our pollution and thus preventing the pollution from spreading off the current edge of the world, we're good. While we don't have enough Mark III modules yet for all these furnaces, I've split off some resources to our new furnace area, meaning we can give it a quick test run. For our new green base we will have 4 iron belts, 4 copper belts and 1 belt for stone bricks fed by a pair of raw stone belts, which will all lead into our brand new buffer area. On the left side, 4 belts of coal and an additional pair of raw stone belts are ready to join in on the party, while we reserve the place on the right side for the train delivered steel and green chips. And behold our new lab area, nicely located in a prominent area near the plates buffer and the start of the future main bus. The extra long blue undergrounds come in handy to tunnel the belts of plates under our new research area. But wait a minute, new main bus? Yeah, new main bus. We are planning to run the new main bus just above the tree line, plowing right through the location of our current main base. Step by step we are going to start replacing our old heavily polluted base by a shiny new Greenpeace approved base. In fact, we have already started that process by hooking up the new furnace area. Now we just gotta make sure the base keeps running while we slowly replace and upgrade individual parts of it. But before we can even start that process, we first need to polish some processes and generally move stuff out of the way. First of all, we've started barreling sulfuric acid as well as lubricant, so we can get rid of any backdoor piping. We immediately take advantage of that at the uranium mine, which is now nicely supplied by bots bringing barrels instead of an awkward backdoor pipe. We have also flipped the direction of the uranium mine and put all the centrifuging business out of the way on the north side now. Now we just need some help to move all those chests of green rocks out of the way as well. And by help I mean I will be personally standing around here doing, supervising, while the bots do all the heavy lifting. Nice! And the end result is now we have the space available for our future builds. Now that logistic bot flight hell has finished, we can... Oh wait, we still need to move 40,000 fuel cells. Oh bots! But then, a quick glance at the map brings unexpected fear into my heart, as even with all the biter nests absorbing pollution like sponges, pollution is still seeping through the hole in the ozone layer over Biter Lake. We must keep an eye onto that and prevent pollution spreading off the map at all costs, even if that means fully unplugging our base at some point. Anyway, for now there's nothing we can do except to get the new green base up and running as soon as possible. So we continue by moving all the science packs over to the new shiny lab area. This is gonna look so cool once it's all up and running. I can't wait to start up research again. Next, we move and expand the entire manufacturing hub, reorganizing and adding assemblers as we see fit to reflect our new endgame situation and tech. It's a slow, tedious and somewhat boring process, which we need to take one step at a time, but ultimately 1 hour later most of it is done, and only the module production remains in the old area for now. Because the whole base is mostly focused on producing tons of modules now, we'll keep module production in the old area for now to reduce the bot flight times. We finally have produced enough Mark III modules for our new furnace area. Unfortunately, there is no quick way to insert 2 different modules in Factorio, at least not if you want them nice and ordered. Anyway, this combination of modules works together beautifully, and we are really using the power of all 16 efficiency modules around the furnace to reach the minimum of 20% power usage, despite the use of speed and productivity modules in the furnaces. So yeah, that means it also would have been possible to use 2 productivity modules in the furnaces and still retain the minimum 20% power usage. Without offsetting their speed penalty, however, one would need about twice the amount of furnaces per red belt, which ultimately means producing twice the pollution per red belt of plates. The total quantity of machines required to do the job still matters, despite each individual machine producing the absolute minimum pollution. In this case, I decided the 10% extra productivity bonus was not worth doubling the entire setup. Anyway, before we connect the furnace outputs to the buffer chests, we will first make the bots move the old buffer. The time of our trusty old storage area, on which I spent entirely too much time designing, has sadly come to an end. Bots driver, move that buffers! Hey, come back! You're going the wrong way! We actually have exactly the same running speed as the bot flight speed now. Which leads to some pretty cool visual effects. But how to reach that? Well, we have bot flight speed 10 combined with 4 legs inner armor. Our life-saving very first iron mine outpost has fully dried up. While it does carry huge sentimental value, it is in the way, and it will have to go. We have fully mined up this 3.5 million iron patch, which saved our starter base in the nick of time, all the way back in the beginning. I can't even imagine anymore what life was like back then. We have come so far. Anyway, on to another VIP. It's hazard concrete indeed, the most crucial thing in any base. To make sure we don't F up this run later, we will need lots of hazard concrete. The next thing in our way is the old science pack production area, so we disable any further science pack production by deleting their respective requester chests, and we request all produced science packs to the new lab area to fully empty out the old buffer chests. Then we spent a lot of time to figure out efficiency beacon concepts for the production area of the base, which we will check out in more detail later. More importantly, that concludes all possible preparations which could be done without interrupting resource flow to the old polluting base. Which means it is time to start switching over to the new furnace area. Now, we made sure to disconnect the ore belts and let the furnaces run dry before issuing the deconstruction order. Because if you don't do that, there's thousands of additional plates and raw ore to get rid of, like here with the old stone and steel furnaces. Yeah, it's gonna take them a while to empty out all of that. Meanwhile, I properly connected 4 ore belts per resource type to the furnaces. And now we can really switch to the new furnace area by connecting the output belts to the start of our new main bus. And finally, with all the science packs moved over to the new lab area, it is time for the old science production area to go. Now we want to switch over to our new, more Greenpeace approved setup in a gradual, step-by-step way, so we will try to make sure the old base will keep having access to all the things it needs. We don't want to interrupt artillery shell and module production. Oh, and please don't burn your eyes on this noobish cursed splitter switcheroo, it's only temporary. Next, we reroute the green steel train output belts to pass by the new furnace area and the new buffer chests. A whopping 8 buffer chests for each, but a keen eye will spot there's one normal steel chest in there. The point is to make one chest of every resource inaccessible to the bots, so I always have access to manual supplies or manual redistribution to high priority assemblers should the need arise in the future. Anyway, it looks like we successfully managed to clean up the base and switch to the new furnaces without much loss in production. We suffered only about 15 minutes of reduced module production, it seems. And with robot speed 10, the bots have finally become too fast to outspeed the Johnnies. Well, mostly. And while you are looking at the Johnnies, I built a new coal mine. The 4 coal belts at the furnace area were fake news really. We are only producing 2 belts from the old coal mine. So it's time to supplement that, in case we will need to rely heavily on coal liquefaction again in the future. So here's an example of my typical belting sequence to prioritize one mine over the other. We split the old coal mine over 4 belts and then sideload each individual belt with a coal belt from the new coal mine. That means the new coal mine will only jump in at moments where the old coal mine can't keep up. However, since I expect continuous small consumption altered with short bursts of heavy coal consumption, it perhaps would have been smarter to prioritize the new coal mine instead. Hey, let's take a look at the flamethrower oil situation. The furthest corner tank is filled to the brim again, and indeed the buffer tank system, which was completely dry after clearing the 4th corner with artillery, is slowly filling up now as well and has already 40k oil stocked up again. I think we can safely change out that question mark for some exclamation marks now. Incredible! Of course, after paying the heavy toll of artillery revenge attacks, now we have more terrain and forests available to absorb pollution, meaning the biter bases absorb less pollution than before, thus sending in fewer and smaller attacks. But still, an entire ultimate DeathWorld supply of flamethrower fuel supplied by one single, absolute minimum production pump jack is just incredible. Meanwhile, with 50,000 artillery shells in the buffer, we have reached the halfway mark on our 100k production goal. Now, after artillery round 1, I'm not sure we will truly need that full 100k shells, but man, this is the most biters I ever saw in Factorio, so let's not take any chances. Also, with 50,000 fuel cells in stock and 50% of the top 4 products in our logistics network being uranium related, we are set for life on power. And our easily expandable 20-core reactor is currently running at only half capacity still. But meanwhile, more of our earlier ore patches are seriously starting to run dry. To keep our ore belts full, I have connected 2 new ore patches in the southeast. But we should not forget to keep in mind that the resources within our walls are not infinite, and meanwhile we have started to tap into most of them.